Before we commence with Saleechut Laesharah Bithabat, excuses for the 10th of Teves, we think of what is there when there is a temple, and what is there when there isn't a temple. We think of what gets passed down through the generations and how that needs brought out with a thankfulness. Alhinu walhi abutinu azkura matsuk asher qrani bushlush makun bachdush hazah hakni gadani hanyani hekani akrata holani dakani bushmuna bu shem alget ween neat hala shul shutan qabati tanit wamluk yun ansani laktub dat unit al gabi chershu Trshim Hariku Manit Zuamti But Shah Bu Buk Lama Which Per Chashuk Mali Mayo Hood What's Per Thurf Bu Hanwatan Amri Shapur Hawa Razra Hasuper Yum Ashiri Tazwa Bun Buzi Hachuza Kitab Luk Busper Hamchaza Lizkurun Lam Namas Wanbaza At Atsam Hiyum Hazah Benin Siddur Chidshim Bashara Bu Hayer Nahi Wilo Bamu P Abayer Siddur Per Anyut Batuk Labi Yabayer Baba Ali Haplith Lamer Hakta Higher Al Pani Abak Zriti Putsti Al Arbatan Lu Chutz Bulbi Uriti Torut Al Allah Aberli Riti Tazdik Hawa Yahwa Ki Pihu Mariti Arati Shumak Matnachum Al Rati Rah Aniya Wishma Qul Pagi Ati Shema Tuchnati Chish Na Yishwati Al Talam Aznuk Laruchti Lishwati Yurch Thibat Mad Laqiti Bu One Shutnu Ali Sidri Natibu Surati Pashati Yagla Li Thubu Haumer Lim Ad Pahtaba Al Malik Yushaba Al Kasa Rachmim Matnahag Bach Sidut Muchul Al Nut Ramu Mabir Rashun Murba Machila Lichthame Was Licha Lipwushaim Asha Tizdakot Kol Bashur Waruchla Kuratam Tagmul Al Hurit Lanu Lumer Shulsh Ashra was Kur Lanu Hiyum Berit Shulsh Ashra Kamu Shahudat Lanu Makdam Kamu Shaktub Weird Yahwa Manan Wheat Yetzeb Ramu Shem Wikra Bashem Yahwa. And everybody together, we aber Yahwa al Panyu. Wikra Yahwa al Rachum. Which noon ark apim Werb Chesed Wampt Nutzer Chesed Lalpim Nasha Aun Wipsha Wichtha Wunka Was Lichet Launu Wolchathatnu One Chultnu Sulchlanu Ambinu Ki Chathanu Macholanu Mulkanu Ki Pashanu Ki Ata Adni Thub Waslech Werb Chesed Lickle Arake Alhim Bau Gwim Ben Choltuk Thamau at Hikel Kachuk Shamu at Yerushalayim Layam Alhim Zadim Qamu Alinu Wadat Aryitzim Bakshu Napshanu Wala Shamuk Langadam Kirchum Abal Banim Kun Turchum Yahwa Alinu Lihwa Hishwa Al Amak Berkatuk Salah Yahweh Tazbout Amnu Mashqablanu Alhi Yaqam Salah Yahweh Tazbout Ashri Adam Bathach Buk Yahweh Hushiah Hamlik Yanu Biyum Granu. And many congregations say the Slichna Wal Amak. Alhainu Walhi Abutinu Abin Harasha Layim Waltrisha Wanuchli Mursha Manud Rash Bul Amim Bakrabi Lab Nakab Nadwa One Dab Nash Arnu Kain Ab Wahiyanu Keet Wamim Rakah Wangah Bush Wushnim Sugah Wata Hiya Nugah Masura Bid Bamim Hita Kalmana Arya Namna Wuzrami Mana Namkru Bala Damim Mangah Worka Tolcha Lamluka Wam Anita Arka Zakama Shanim Wimim Beit Yaaqub Libza Lil'ag Wol'asa Wahayir Haliza Lamthai Kermim Ruiyah Tur'ala Bid Bani Allah Hertzwiyah Kaula Waqatrat Hasmim Masa Laznuch Turt Abi Zanuch Wallah Matzah Manuch Lilut Wagam Yum Nura Alyun Mamak Yahi Tizbiyun Lashib Lurib Tsiun Shunt Shulwamim Chadush Yimyinu Kakdam Mana Alhi Kadam Walban Katzmer Adam Wukshog Ketmim Chiskanu Buratuk Wamqiyum Turtuk Wapqadnu Bishwatuk Al-Malah Rachmim Al-Malik Yushab Al-Kasa Rachmim Matnahag Bachsidut Muchul Aunut Amu Mabir Rashun Merba Machila Lichthame Waslicha Lapushaim Asha Tazdakut Amkol Bashir Uruchla Kuratam Tagmul Al Hurit Lanu Lumur Shulsh Ashra was Kurlanu Hiyum Barit Shulsh Ashra Kamu Shahudat Lanu Makdam Kamu Shaktub Weird Yahweh Banan Wityitzab Amu Shum Wikra Bashum Yahweh, and then together we aber Yahweh al Panu Wikra Yahweh Yahweh Rachum Wachnun Ark Apim Werb Chesed Wamt Netzer Chesed Lalpim Nasha Aun Wapsha Wichthah Winkah Waslichet Launu Walchathatnu Winchultanu Sulch Lanu Avinu Ki Chathanu Macholanu Mulkanu Ki Pashanu Ki Ata Adnithub Waslech Werb Chesed Lakol Break, and the reader and then the congregation Abuti Ki Bathchu Basham Alhi Tsori Gadlu Watsolichu Wagam Ashu Pari Wumat Hadchu Wahlaku Amu Ari Hyu Haluk Which Sur Ad Hachdash Hashiri Bashiri Lichdash Samuk Maluk Babul Wutzer al Ayr Hakdash Wanqarb Rub Hachubal Nati Hadash Waniti Bakbul Wahya Madi Chadash Labo Kanuri Rashid Bakura Rashid Hatram Shum Achrim Hazkira Wahaun Luram Allah Hakira Wash Thipa Bazram Tsara Kam Bakira Kad Bamrum Tamriya Halhim Habya Yum Rah Wamtsur Swah Tsori Svibi Ali Labtsur Yum Hark Labi Wayne Ketch Latsur Woodbur al Nabia Mashul al Bait Hamri mi washbi shar havir adrit chumtu kash bar wahrin athrat wam libnun yar hash leak tip art uruch su'a waskar tasmer shart bashri yipit namshult wata qaduranit baun ki kashlet wolbuk achuranit zanbuk one chashlet rashuna washnit wa chatol la chitlet math thari tasdik hatsur tam nashwa aun no'a makrub lampatan lapnat gag da maun hankatam what's aktam ba rba ratam kats asha pari chazak ko qami tukun talit ki mal'aw yami berwa map alut wam bashat alumi shakchati gamulut nutun lachmi wamimi pashti watsmari qami piham padru wancholti bul'aw mad ali qamru wadmi shatu wal'aw nakrim ali thru wat achi her'aw haumrim aru bani shayir hatri amru lanu naklam one shabita zakram alqna wanukam qamlam yash'aw at shabram kam ashiham shum wibshu mashburm kaish chulam shulsha sali tree patsai la raka wachburuti ratsach waini hatta tsupa ladudi tzach hawad la shaka chamtu lanatsach alma asha kaka wama chri rachumza ali al-lad taznach arku yami abli waud lambi nanch shubah al lahli maqumak al tanach Shom Yami Amliki Tamba Al Shukri Yahwa Munt Choki Chusha Li Lazra Waptachet Shaqi Shamcha Li Lazra Wutyah At Chushki Bauruk Lahira At Nushif Chushki Ki Ata Niri Nigun Wancha Pra Al At Napshi Asha Lamak Hansha Mulki Wakdushi Tahpuk Larucha At Tsum Hachmishi Lashun Walshumcha Tzom Herbiai Watsum Hashiri. And there's a whole lot of references there, and we'll get into that when we have the translation. Teves is relating to the day when Nebuchadnezzar began the siege of Jerusalem that resulted in the destruction of the first built, the first temple in that place. But the other temple was brought, because you do have the word for temple. And some people refer to the siege. And the author of this signed their name, Yusuf, so it's not the same Yusuf. It's an important thing to regard. And 1100 is 75. We have his grandfather's name, Abraham. Yitzchak, his father's name, and Aprim. Okay, so, because when we see Abraham and all that other stuff, maybe that grimoire or that text was written by Abraham, just not the Abraham that you think, because it's, the one in the Bible. No, not the one in the Bible, some other one. And referring to the things, but Ptolemy II, also referring to something that happened in Teves, 285 to 246 BCE, and 3 days of darkness descended on the world. Well, it wasn't physical darkness. There were volcanic events that may have darkened some areas from time to time, but this wasn't it, right? And they were putting things into Greek. We did not have Judaism by name at this point. But, you did have a second temple destroyed. Really a third. And then you could say, the first Jewish temple. But then you could say Judaism by name, they rose to power twice, under the Maccabees and under the Bar Kokhba rebellion. And we have another one arranged by letters, and then a portion starting with Yud that the person reading says in particular. I'm recalling the distress that I came about with the 3 blows being struck during this month. Okay, well, what's the third? Ptolemies, Nebuchadnezzar, he cut me down, pushed me away, caused me pain, but now he's exhausted me. Job 16:7, surrounded me on the 8th day with darkness, left and right. For these 3 events, I instituted a fast. The Greek king forced me to translate the Torah into Greek. Well, people that speak that language, the Greeks didn't actually force that, but on my back, the plowers plowed and lengthened their ditches. Psalm 129:3. I was reproached on the 9th with humiliation and disgrace. Removed from me was the mantle of majesty, and my diadem on this day was torn away, the giver of beautiful works, Ezra the scribe. And on the 10th day, Ben Buzi the seer was commanded, record for yourself in the book of prophecy as a remembrance of the decaying and disgraced people. This is very late. Ezekiel 24:2. Well, there was multiple Mesopotamian conquerings, but you could just kind of narrow that down into one, right? The Syrians and some other people. But the Bar Kokhba, they tried to exterminate the non-Jews in the area, and it's like, people can't even go through there. It's one thing our rule ending, but if people can't even go through there, so they came down so hard that there was, 1,800 years before there was another Jewish kingdom. Well, at least in the area. In the count of the monthly cycle, the 10th month inspired me to open my mouth with wailing and lament. The sequences of the punishment is the cause of fire within my heart. As the fugitive came to me and said, this city has been vanquished. So, Ezekiel 33:21. Well, a lot of these things have nothing to do with these 3 events. So the ending of 3 temples. At the very least, you got to say at least 3 of the temples plus another 4th. So 2 Jewish temples when the Israelites rose to power twice. And then you have the Jews rise to power twice. So each of those, they established a temple. And you could say the one before that. So you got at least 5 temple periods. For these, I put ashes on my face. For these 4 tragedies, kind of like the Hindus, right? Well, the Shaivas, is that what they call them? For the 4 tragedies, the translation of the Torah, well, it's really the people's fault for not keeping up the language, and the forms, learning of themselves, of the death of Ezra, the siege of Jerusalem, and its fall. I exclaimed, had I only an arrow, and it pierced my heart for these misfortunes, I would have dug myself a grave. It is God as a verb and noun, who is righteous, who has that Jupiter principle, as you could also translate it. The stake, for I disobeyed the utterance. And Lamentations 1:18. I called out your name, you who relents over the evil that struck me. See my affliction, hear the sound of my prayer, hear my supplication, hasten my salvation. Don't avert your ear from my sigh and my cry. And the person reading in particular, in the month of Teves, I was exceedingly smitten, and in the normal course it was altered to detriment. I strayed, I rebelled. May he revealed to me his goodness, the one who told the sea, thus far may you come. And that's an important thing, right? Is that, what's we need to realize, it's there. Strong leader, sovereign, who brings in what joins with a seat over the throne of mercies, who acts with the mercy, pardoning the sins of the people who have joined, removing these sins one by one, increasingly granting pardon to accidental sinners and forgiveness to intentional sinners, performing the acts of generosity with every living being. You don't repay them in accord with their evil. And the person reading in particular says, strong leader, you taught in this place to recite the 13, so remember, so make mention of this place today in the pact of these 13, as you made known the humble one in the ancient times, as it's written, and God as a verb and noun descended in the cloud and stood with him there and called out. And the people joined with the name. God as a verb and noun. So when you have a list of beliefs, they're not just things you go over. They're actual, covenants. And then the congregation and the reader say together, and God as a verb and noun, pass before him, and proclaim God as a verb and noun, God as a verb and noun, compassionate and gracious, slow to anger, abundant in kindness and truth, preserving kindness for thousands of generations, forgiver of iniquity and willful sin and error, who cleanses. The forgiveness is according to your terms for the intentional and incidental mistakes, and make in this place your tradition. Forgive us, our center, for we have erred. Pardon us, the sovereign over us. We willfully sinned. For you, my Lord, are good and forgiving and abundantly kind to all who call upon you. And everybody continues. Divinity. Those who have turned their backs have entered your tradition, and they defile the sanctuary, because there still were the people who turned their backs. And that holiness they turned away for Jerusalem into heaps of rubble. Psalm 79:1. Do we have Job 38:11? I think I skipped over where that is. Oh, thus far may you come. Okay. All divinity, transgression has risen against me. A company of the ruthless sought my soul, and they have not set you before them. Psalm 86:14. Well, God's omnipresent, but some people just don't accept that function, right? Like the mercy of a father upon children. So we're not literally calling God a father, just saying that, has mercy like that. With the mark of the mercies of God as a verb and noun upon this place. For God as a verb and noun saves, and upon the people that have surrendered basically, they're saying they're Muslim. Your people is your blessing. They make ritual prayer. God is a verb and noun. The master of legions is with us, a stronghold for the one, the God of who Jacob made orisons to. God is verb and noun, master of the modes. Worthy is the person that trust in you. God is a verb and noun, save. May the king answer on the day that we call. And many congregations get into the whole please forgive your people portion. Deity this place, and my deity over the place, influenced by the ancestors. The leading stone has become rubble. Well, now the leading stone is the rock in the corner, right? And plowed under, and the heirs of the heritage have become a cause for the nations. Let me double check that it does say nations and not some term. Yeah, it doesn't look like it says something else. To shake their heads. And that would be Psalm 44:15. Within me is the aching of the heart, the pain and the anguish. We're left as if fatherless, and we are like orphans. Lamentations 5:3. Well, it's much worse when, God is no longer presencing for you. Tenderness and delicacy hedged about with rose-like commands, because it flowers more than just, a couple lines or something, right? Now she's aggrieved and given to the power of her foes. She's like a widow, this faithful city, and the uncountable children. Remember that passage, where was it? Talks about the she who was invaders. All the surrounding nations are referred to in the male, but the Jews or the Israelites or whatever you want to call them, or at least the representatives, are referred to in the female. So that's interesting. And the unaccountable children were sold for no money, delicate and tender, succeeding to sovereignty, lengthening their tenure. These many years, the house of Jacob has become an object of looting, scorn, and slander. And the jubilant city has become a plantation of vineyards, made drunk with the poison of the hands of their wickedness. So it's not all, just victim. And favored as an elevation offering, as a mixture of incense, she disdained to forsake the scripture of Abi Zanuach, which is a term for Moses. Or could we say that that was like a name, right? So she found no rest in the days or the nights. Abi Zanuch. Zanuch, was that one of his sons? Because there's the Kunya name, as they call it. You got your child, as a male, your firstborn son, one of your names is father of whoever that is. So she found no rest in the days or the nights. Awesome and supreme deity, may the desire emanate from you to compensate the grievance of what is set apart with a year of retribution. Isaiah 34:8. Renew as in the days of old. Lamentations 5:21. O eternal God who dwells in the heavens. Well, God's not limited to that, but one of the first things you need to do when you talk about divinity is, take it outside of the limits of your world. Deuteronomy 33:27. Make the redness of sin white as wool, and make the stains snow white. Isaiah 1:18. And the person reading in particular, strengthen us with the reverence according to your terms and the fulfillment of your scripture. Recall us with salvation, O God, who's filled with mercy. As far as we have joined with the name. Oh, that's not it here. But that's the next portion that we get into. Strong leader, sovereign, bringing in the situation over the throne of the mercies, acting with the kindness and pardoning the sins of the people who have joined, removing those sins one by one, increasingly granting pardon to the accidental sinners and the forgiveness to the willful ones, performing acts of generosity with every living being. You don't repay them, but according with their evil, more forgiving than exacting, right? Strong leader, you taught us to recite the 13, so remember us today for the pact of the 13, as you made known the humble one in the ancient times, as it was written, and God as a verb and noun descended in the cloud, and stood with him there, and called out with the name, God as a verb and noun. And people say in union, and God as a verb and noun passed before him and proclaimed, God as a verb and noun, God as a verb and noun. Strong leader, compassionate, gracious, slow to anger, abundant in the mercies and truth, preserving the mercies for thousands of generations, forgiver of iniquity, willful sin, and errors, who cleanses. May you forgive the iniquities of this place, the errors of the place, making this place for your tradition. Forgive us in this place, our provider, for we have made mistakes. Pardon us, our King, for we've intentionally sinned. For you, my Lord, are good and forgiving and abundantly kind to those who call on you. And this portion is said by the person leading, and then the congregation repeats. When our patriarchs trusted in the name of my God, my rock, they became great and successful and also fruitful. But from the time they went astray and treated him casually, remember when we say he, him, his, we're not calling God male, they were progressively diminished until the 10th month, Genesis 8:5. This is very interesting because this stuff doesn't, it obviously refers to different things, but being used in a different context. On the 10th of the month, the king of Babylon showed up, Ezekiel 24:2, and besieged the holy city, and his captain drew near, and I was given over for trampling and tortured with the fetters. Whenever the month reoccurs, my harp turns to the morning. Her first fruits were the first to be destroyed. And that's what I was saying in 2023 in particular, is that the Israelis are destroying a lot of the fruits. They're filling wells. What's going on here? Because she mentioned the name of other things taken to be deities, and that the iniquity caused it. She didn't recognize the presence of God, so she was washed away by the stream, suffering pain like a woman's first childbirth, and still she rebels against the Most High, Job 39:18. And now it's more about secularism than being a part of a different faith. God brought a day of evil and siege and commanded my surrounding enemies. Lamentations 1:17, it was Job 39:18 before that. To harvest my infants on the day my heart grew faint and there was no strength to resist. And he told the prophet, compose a parable for the rebellious family. Ezekiel 24:3. From those who sit at the gates, he removed the mantle. He kindled the wrath like the fire and lifted off the crown. From the forest of Lebanon, he cast down splendor. You know, it looks like Lebanon can conquer Israel. With an angry wind and a tempest, he stood up the hair of my flesh. You're likened to beauty. Now you're blackened because you stumbled into sin. Hosea 14:2. Before I go further with this, let me look back to the other page. What is this bit? A, B, R, H, M, Y, T, Z, C, H, Q, A, P, R, Y, M. And your heart shrunk back because you were anguished and weakened in the first and second destructions, and your wound was not bandaged. Ezekiel 16:4. With even a bit of balm, the Jupiter principle, the perfect rock, because these psychological symbols also refer to divinity. Same thing like when people have tarot cards. If you forget about the image for a second, referring to something. Was weary of forgiving iniquity, from the cherub, while the worshiping being to the threshold and the corner of the roof, because the sin was indelible and the sinful shouting reached him. You have a moderate voice when you pray, right? And the evil abounded like the fruit-bearing tree, and he who totals all action. Well, one of the things that was going on October 7th on some army base was that they were singing about genocide and all that, so things were heard, right? And the evil of what they were doing to the trees was known. He who totals all the actions and strengthening the adversaries, for the day is filled with the evil activities, because the sins of the youthfulness, I forgot the benefits of the giver of the bread, my water, my flax, and my wool. We had Isaiah 54:4, Hosea 2:7. My adversaries opened their mouths and swallowed my tradition. They overpowered me mightily and drank and swallowed my blood. The strangers besieged me and treated my brethren wrongly. One of the things that was going on with the rendering of things into Greek was that people remembered what it meant, but they didn't quite remember the words. And a lot of things have been lost in that sort of way. Those who said, destroy, destroy, the offspring of Seir, the Horite, Esau, so they wanted to, Psalm 137:7. So yeah, they hated the other Semites, despite the prophecies in favor of what was going to happen there. And they said, let us go and destroy them and obliterate their memory. And the jealous and avenging God requited them and let them bear their destruction, paying them according to their deeds and letting them be ashamed of their hope, like the one who dreamt of the 3 wicker baskets. What's number 10 here? Okay, we have Psalm 137:7. Genesis 36:20 was part of the other one. And we have Genesis 40:16. My bruise hasn't been softened, nor have my murderous wounds. Genesis. Oh, wait, no, that's not Genesis. Isaiah 1:6. My eye is weakened with looking for the sparkling of the beloved. Will his wrath never be calmed? Why has he done this? And why this wrath? Deuteronomy 29:23. A merciful one, my God, don't abandon. The days of my mourning grow long, and still my heart groans. Return, O God, to my tent. Don't forsake your place. Ecclesiastes 7:4. Repay me for the days of my mourning. When you come, Isaiah 60:20. When you come for reward, God is a verb and noun, the portion of my inheritance. Psalm 16:5. Hasten to my aid. Psalm 38:23. Unite my mourning clothes to gird me with joy. Psalm 30:12. Bring me from darkness into illuminating with your light, the night I longed for, because you're my light. Isaiah 21:4. From sorrow and groaning, redeem my soul, O God. Grant the people who are tamed and subdued. It's conditional, right? My King, my Holy One, change the relief with the fast of the 5th month, Tisha B'Av, and to joy and gladness, the fast of the 4th month, Tammuz, and the fast of the 10th month, Teves. So that would be Zechariah 8:19 and okay, we did have the light thing in 2 Samuel 22:29. But we had a second verse.